Hello, viewers. Thank you again for tuning in. This is a Man-to-Man Talk. We're coming to you on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Please subscribe to this channel so that you can get notification. This is under Gospel Assembly Church. First, we want to talk about coronavirus. It is a new normal. It is changing our lives, doing things that are not common, and that includes the face masks. It is for our own good, and we want to encourage you to use masks as much as possible. Use hand sanitizer as much as possible. Keep distance, and wash your hands as much as possible. So we wanted to encourage you. However, we have spaced ourselves so that we have at least a recommended distance, and also for the sake of clarity, that's why we will not be using the mask. But otherwise, we want to encourage as much as possible to keep safe, and we need your life. And so once again, we are here to discuss issues pertaining men. We want great families. We want people who are, socially able to be pointed and be admired in the society, especially from the male perspective of people. So with me, with my colleague, please, you can say hello to the people.
Hello viewers, thank you very much for keeping with us always. We love you, we care about your views, your feedback, and the love for us. I remain Jerome, Olo, Jasloan. Love you guys. Thank you very much for your support.
Yeah, I am called Stephen Olanya. I want to pronounce it so that because we're talking about cultural fights. Yeah, so don't call me Olanya and all that. It's Olanya. Yeah. So when I'm saying Stephen, it's Stephen. That one is. That
one came with it.
Yeah, I grabbed it from from my colonial masters. Yeah. Well, the last session we were looking at the cultural conflict that the men are exposed to. We know this is the same thing with the ladies, but we are emphasizing the men because this show particularly focuses at the men. So men don't take it that we are over attacking. It's not attacking. I know we have single mothers out there who've got boys, and they need to hear this. We have fathers who are confused about how they should handle their boys. That is still necessary. And so we don't want to gag too much that we can't chew. So that's why we are particularly looking at the boys. But this affects even the girls, And then on the other hand, the girls are actually observers. They are the observers. Actually, they are examiners. They assess. And many of us men, we actually try to fit into their shoes. We want to live to the expectations. And so the examiners out there, you also need to know that what are some of the challenges that your students go through. And that is the cultural inclination, either the school or the Western or European. Nowadays, American has also taken up so much. You want to speak like American, dress like American, rap like American, do stuff like American, and you feel like, that's what it's supposed to be.
Man.
Yeah, man, you know.
What's up?
What's up, The youth always want to have this kind of thing, the slangs and all this kind of thing. It's, they're bringing, that slangs are even entering into the tradition. You find actually in my language, you go there, you find people having these rare words that are not anywhere in the dictionary, no dictionary. And they're there. So, we see all this commotion. So, right in this session, we want to look at the implications. Because it still comes down to troubles that we find ourselves as men in the presence or before the rest of the community. The ladies out there, the mothers, the in-laws, we find ourselves caught up because there is absolute implications on which way to go. You can go Western, live like American. You have a problem with some woman down there who would not want you to walk away with the daughter. And then you leave the traditional fellow, some guy who is rich and has got the money. The kids have been flying out to study in Canada. They will look at it and say, what, I don't think that guy is still primitive. So where primitivity and I don't know how you term the other one, where they meet, is where I want to look at what are some of the implications. So Jerome, let's start from there.
True. Ladies, our examiners,
Yeah.
But normally when we do exams, we want to get the right answers.
Aha.
And
Just hold on.
Yeah.
We want to live with the expectation of the examiner. You want
That
to use
is
the
true.
terminology that
Of the examiner, true.
I like that. I
Yeah.
like that.
And that causes us to be unreal at certain point.
Wow.
Now, there's a danger. One of the implications that comes to my mind right now is being men not portraying a wrong picture of a good man. Because you're trying to satisfy
The
the expectation of your examiner.
Yeah.
In this case, the people we are relating with. Yeah. For example, we have been to certain schools. Some of us coming from real village, the village of villages. so we go to these schools because somehow we are smart.
Yeah.
And we are taken to certain schools.
Yeah, because you're
and
performing
we
well
are performing
academically.
well academically. You're taken to that school.
You go with your wooden.
You go with your wooden stuff, but but now you have to adjust to live like that. Now, I was told of a certain student whose parents came to visit in the real them.
Yeah.
And the student hid. Student hid. Why? Because the society where I was expected, as he had
Some
shifted.
standard.
He had shifted what he is to a standard that fits that community, the school community is in. Now, the unfortunate bit, the parents who sent him there are still in the other mode.
Yeah.
Now they come to school,
And with all the love.
and
Can
with
you
all the
imagine?
love and all the care and everything. Now, because he had shifted to that, now he was living unreal life, a painted life.
Yeah.
Now, when the reality shows up, he doesn't want to associate with it, and he hides away from the parents and say,
Yeah.
"No, those are not my parents.
Can you
They're just
imagine?
a village people. They sent to bring
they
me
sent
things, to bring
just
me
to pass.
yeah, to pass by and drop that." Now, that can happen to a good man, or what we would pursue.
So in other words, the society is forcing you to deny your cultural perspective,
or to deny what you are,
identity.
your identity.
Yeah.
And now the danger of that is that this poor lady somewhere, who is now coming from, for example, Western, go to meet a guy who has grown up or mastered the art of masquerading.
Wow.
Now, the lady thinks has got her type.
And yet this is
a
cosmetic.
Cosmetics, yeah.
Yes.
Because this lady says, me, I've been exposed. The kind of what I consider in a man as good, the qualities in a good man, is from that perspective of the Western. Now, this boy, for some reason, he has mastered the art of chameleon, being a chameleon.
You change with the trend.
You change with the trend. Where you are, then you change to that. Now, the poor lady thinks I've got a good man from
Because
her
he's able
yardstick.
was able to cosmetically
Change
sustain to some extent.
Now the lady marries this guy, basing on that judgment of a good man.
Yeah.
They go into the family. They are happy one day. Cosmetic approach to life cannot be sustained.
That's
a bit
true.
hard.
That's true.
Now, few years down the road, you find the lady saying, "You've changed. You're not the man I married." But is it true? No, that's the man you married.
You just didn't see the default.
You did see the default.
The default guy.
Yes. Now, for example, this COVID thing has revealed a lot of masquerades.
True.
Especially in guys who used to come back at night and not
There are
spend
people
time.
who have been claiming to be working.
They have been claiming to be a caring husbands because they care for 1 hour when they come up from work in the morning. They've left. Now they have the whole day to show the care.
Or even
1 week.
Just leaving alone those who are married.
Yeah.
Let's talk about those who are not married.
Exactly.
I mean, your neighbor now proves to you that, hey, wait a minute. This guy, the guy has been pretending.
Exactly.
Yeah, he comes here with cars and all that. I didn't know this guy was just a middleman, you know.
Exactly. so that's one of the dangers I see with
Picking
here and picking there, and so on. It causes you to become the unreal person.
Yeah, it's a script. You were doing it for drama.
For drama, exactly. Stage by stage. But acting is always about 2 hours, you know.
Yeah.
Movies are...
And it ends.
And
behind the scene is
behind
not
the
there.
Scene, exactly.
They don't bring for you the behind the scene.
Now, poor lady picked stage life. 2 hours.
Actually, what is this they call, you know, like the video clip?
Yes.
They usually put. Say,
that's behind the stage.
No, leave alone that. There's that they call it like a premiering.
Premiering, the first thing, the precursor sort of.
Yes, they put just to capture your attention.
Yes.
They just get the best part of the movie.
Yes.
And show it the clip. There's a way they call it.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but normally when they're advertising a movie, that's when they throw in that.
Yeah. So that is what you're talking about. The man is this clip only.
Yes.
But the behind the scenes, the dirty stuff, the failed life is not seen.
Is not seen there. So that is one of the things we make people, that kind of life makes people to make a decision based on something which is not
temporal,
something that is not real. And that's one of the issues we have in marriages, for example. Relationship, let me say. In general. So we need to calm down, come out of that situation, because the world is faced with multiple culture.
Yeah, we can't refuse
that.
And where the world is going to take us, we can't tell.
Yes, you can't. No, because of we have televisions, the media generally has exposed us to lots of things. There is no way whatsoever you can avoid mixes in life. Yeah, sometimes we have accents, sometimes we have way of dressing, we shift from this to the other and that. But what keeps you quality man is the DNA of you. What you come back to at the end of all this.
Let me just speak something. You just made me actually get this, you know, like my mind ran to International School of Uganda. We have different cultural, background. We have over 60 different nationals represented. Now we have what we call the Festival of World Cultures, where we have all these cultures that we have been blessed with in one setting of an institution. We celebrate it. Now, the interesting thing, which I would recommend the Ministry of Education to actually embrace it, because we still also have the same setting. We have different cultural inclination. I mean, the setting within school. You find the Westerners, I mean, the Bantu, the Nilotics, the Nile Hamites, all this in one school. You find, and actually in Tare. But you know, the whole thing is what happens in this Festival of World Cultures at International School is that we start with celebrating. It's like there's the pride of all these cultures, giving it the mindset that all you out there, if you've come with your culture, know that we treasure you and we believe in that culture. So you don't have to change because you've come here.
Yes.
So that's the mindset. And it's so beautiful that we have performances that cuts across almost every continent. You know, they come with something, you know, the dances. We sometimes even greet in the different, languages.
I remember you told me you were jumping higher
exactly. There was a time I went, I was dancing, there was a Burundian thing. So it's like, the institution deliberately sets it that, you know what, we treasure. And shouldn't be influenced because of our getting together, but let's celebrate our diversity. We even have one lunch, we call it one lunch, where they prepare all the foods, and you go to, Korea, you taste, you go to Guinea, it's West Africa, and come to Uganda here. So it's a nice thing. Now, talking about that setting, it gives me this impression that I don't have to live like American.
Exactly.
In a setting, because the American wants to admire me, the Ugandan guy.
Exactly.
In my way. And that's how I live at international school. I mean, many of the people, I'm sure those who are watching, my workmates and students and those who know me working there, I mean, I have bits and pieces.
Yeah.
But when I come home, I mean, even you know, during Festival of World Cultures, when I serve my ugali,
Yeah.
you know, the millet bread,
Yeah, the corn.
yeah, I actually eat, you know, using my hand. I put aside the forks and cutlery, and I eat. And you know, you see all these guys coming with cameras, they
Yeah.
get impressed.
Exactly.
You know, so there's that pride. There's that thing that somebody
Being
starts
you.
wondering. Yeah.
Yeah.
A fellow Ugandan will look and say, no, I would have lived like American, you know, dressed like them, talk like them, you know, eat their, you know, hamburgers and stuff like that. Fine, I have time to, but I treasure certain things about my culture. Now, it has forced me to live like I would want to live based on what I've picked from the Western culture, which I'm consistent with that. And then the cultural culture, I mean the indigenous culture, I also live as it is. And so you find the respect that you command when you do that, other than the pretense that you brought, which is a very strong implication. People will respect you, that even when you are exposed to what other people are fighting to be, you still stay to what you think
what you
is
are.
valuable.
Exactly.
So my identity should stay. And that is what brings us to what we consider as consistency
Exactly.
in what you have decided to be, based on what you've picked and you find is correct. So I'm not going to change because I'm seeing something, you know. So really, that is a very, very strong thing. Pretenders, tricksters, cosmetic lifestyles has come because we have got this from the other side.
Exactly.
It's even worse. The people who have you know, lived in Europe for 3-4 years. You want to come back, you want to, you know,
Even distance yourself.
you want to distance yourself. I mean, it kills. And so, I mean, before we get into the break, just pick up some few lines here and there.
You know, one thing I want us to understand is that personally, the person I consider a good person is a person who will go, say, to Europe.
You went to Australia.
Yeah, I went there.
When did you come back? I didn't see you.
In fact, when I went to Australia, I was looking for Aborigines. That is how strong
I know.
it was.
I mean, even your posting.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes it just amazes me.
Yeah.
Your posting is full of, you know, the value, the
Yeah.
African history.
Yes.
You know, the richness of, I mean, that tells something.
Exactly.
That, well, I mean, going to, I know the beauty of those roads and rooms and jacuzzis in those hotels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, one thing I felt so offended one time. This is personal.
Yeah.
Someone travels abroad and then comes and starts trashing Uganda from the road to the other to. Man, come on. The country you are comparing to Uganda, first, sorry to say, stole our riches. Number two, they have been developing for the last 2 centuries.
Yeah.
Uganda is only 50. So
Yeah.
you want to compare a child of 16 to a person who's retiring.
Really?
It is impossible. Yeah, so basically, I think for me, the person I consider a good man is a person who will go to another place, pick the good things, amalgamate into what he is, and remains who they are. I'm not against you picking ideas and applying in your life. No, I'm saying
but stick to what you have picked.
Exactly.
Stick to what you have picked.
Yes.
And it should not be influenced by circumstances that you meet.
Exactly.
You've got a job that is paying now more. You feel like, okay, now I moved from Katanga. I'm now living in Muyenga. Hey, excuse me.
Your friends who used to be in Katanga, when they meet you.
Sorry. I mean, you say nothing. I don't want to see this. I don't want to see. I mean, well, anyway, let's go into a short break. And when we get back, please, we'll pick it up right from there. Just before we left for the break, we looked at the implications that these cultures bring.
Imposed on people.
Pardon me again?
As imposed on us.
Yes, as imposed on us. And the biggest, the worst is pretense.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the failing part of men is where now, having been exposed to two cultures, there's a way now people can play ping pong, depending on who is the examiner. Yeah. So who is seeing? If you say, okay, this one inclines more to the indigenous culture, they switch it on, and then until they meet what they're focusing at, so their goal, and then vice versa. We want to move it to another level. We want to look at another cultural inclination that has stood the test of time, and that is our faith, our belief, and that is the biblical perspective of a good man, and how the Bible has been used as a training manual for good men. It has principles that was there before even the introduction of formal education, in this case say in Uganda or East Africa, or even Africa as a whole. It was way before, but it has stood the test of time because we have seen the results. We are not saying in this case that all those who follow the Bible have not fallen through with the standard. I know there are people, in church we still have wrong men. They are there. They are there.
And
just
wrong things still happen.
Exactly. Some of them, as we say, they pretend.
Yeah.
They still want to jump in. But we want to look at what the Bible says about a good man, how good men have been raised. So I will ask Jerome, just start us on with the Bible perspective of how we get the good men.
Viewers, will come back, but we'll start by saying the Bible is a character book.
Yeah.
Whatever we pick from the Bible, if it doesn't translate in the way of life, then it's just another storybook.
Wow.
Most of the people we read in the Bible evoked a certain character. They started from somewhere, and then they kept on transforming. That's why salvation is called transformation.
Yes.
So
yes.
The biblical setup is aimed at transforming us into the good people or the good man. So when we read the Bible, when we pick characters, when we pick stories, those stories are meant should
transform
to transform us.
Yeah.
So that doesn't mean whoever reads the Bible is a good man. That is not what we are saying. What we are saying is that what you do with the text, what you do with the information and the principles matters.
That's
just
true.
like anacid in a battery powers your car.
Exactly.
But anacid in a jealous person or a witch or a killer kills life, takes life. So those are the things we need to look at.
Yeah.
But in the Bible, we talk about, let's start with David, I think.
Okay.
The life of David was very interesting, man. Very interesting story.
It is true.
Yeah, it's very interesting. He starts from his birth in the family was not within
the clear cut.
Yeah, clear cut. You once told me you read about David. Just first start for me with that bit.
You see,
who was this man?
David's mom, there was an issue between them, and the father of David wanted to rectify the lineage.
Okay.
And so the whole setting was that they wanted, the father wanted to get a lady who would actually clear out on the problems they had. And so David came in by the mother actually not appearing as the woman the father of David expected. So the father of David did not know that David was his own son.
Okay.
So even the brothers wanted to disown their mother because they considered that the mother conceived in a wrong way, with the wrong person, with somebody else. So David was looked at as, call it, a bastard,
or illegitimate child.
An illegitimate.
Mhm.
So that is how David was treated by the brothers,
Mhm.
because they did not expect David as their true
Okay.
brother.
Mhm.
And so all these things of David being aware even during the anointing comes from that perspective.
Mhm.
So when you realize what David has gone through as he's growing,
Mhm.
you realize that he was different from the,
Mhm.
he got a different training. His training was
Exactly.
in the wilderness,
In the wilderness.
because that's how they were treating him.
The most interesting bit is when they come to anoint one of the Jesus kids. David had been forgotten.
He was not counted
He was not counted among the
until
family.
the demand came in that,
Yes,
I mean,
yes.
is this all, are these
Is this,
all?
are these all your sons?
Exactly.
Isn't there yet another one? They say,
Mhm.
oh, there's one, but
Yeah.
it's in the bush that side, and so
Uh-huh.
on. No, that gives us a background of who David is, but
From childhood.
from childhood.
And probably the attention given to him, as a father,
Uh-huh.
to raise a good man.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Now that spans my mind now. So there are certain kids. I'll talk about kids whose parents have died in the village,
Mhm.
and someone picks them to take care of them.
Or even put it this way,
Mhm.
there are people who've not been given privilege to
Yes.
live a life
Mhm.
that, it's modest in
Yes.
terms of the setting, the
Yeah.
standards that we have around within a country.
Mhm.
Not only here, even all over the world. In Europe and America, you find there are people who, they've had challenges. They
Mhm.
really live, hand to mouth or in foster homes,
Mhm.
something like that.
Yeah.
So that's like the perspective.
Okay.
Mhm.
Now, what I want to bring out
Mm.
is that when David grew up, like, for example, you've seen kids, like the aunt
Mhm.
picks them to take care of
Yes,
them.
yes.
Now, they are given different treatment from the family
Mhm.
members or
Mhm.
the real children of the
Yeah,
family.
yeah.
But interestingly, those kids turn out to be the best in that family. Most cases, they are the ones who prosper. They are the ones actually who take care of others in that family.
Yeah, yeah.
And so on. So that takes me to this issue that being a good man
Mhm.
may not necessarily mean you had everything going your way.
Well, but there's a training.
Yes.
Like David's thing was a training ground.
Yes.
It was a training ground.
Mm.
Just maybe move it even to another, David,
Mm.
at a youthful age,
Yeah.
when he actually faced Goliath.
Mhm.
Now you actually realize that David walked into the battlefield
Mhm.
as a shepherd,
Yes. And
a food distributor.
distributor, yeah.
Yeah, but when he was coming back, you recall how the women
Women were singing. Yes.
that Saul killed this number,
Mhm.
but David killed in this,
Thousands.
in thousands.
Mm.
Now,
So
that's-
hundreds,
yeah.
David,
Now
thousands.
there's something there that I want us to look at.
Mm.
When you look at David going down to the battleground
Mm.
as an ordinary shepherd,
Mm.
you're coming back as a hero,
Yes, as a king, actually. in
as
the
a
making,
king,
or a
yeah,
royal.
yeah, or
First
actually son-in-law
Son-in-law of the
to
king.
the royal.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're marrying the royals.
So
from the-
automatically you become. a
Yes,
royal. Yeah.
you become a royal.
Mhm.
But I am interested in picking in the character aspect here.
How did he respond?
How did he respond? Because that is a shocking situation.
Mm.
It's just like all of a sudden you're dropped to the States,
Mhm.
and then you're like, oh, wait a minute,
Mhm.
I have been missing all these things. You change your life or you change who you want to be. But
Oh.
remember, David, by the time he was going there,
Mm.
he was actually anointed. So he was a king
He
in
was
waiting.
king, yes.
So, training good men from the biblical perspective
Mhm.
takes the inner bit,
Mhm.
all right?
Mm.
The inner bit, and it is not influenced by anything.
By anything.
Yeah, from childhood.
That comes, yeah. Mm.
Yeah, so people out there who could have probably lived a life that probably you're living with a single mom,
Mhm.
that's the best opportunity for you to actually grow up well.
Uh-huh.
We have a saying in my cultural inclination that orphans always learn from the side of the granary,
Mhm.
meaning the learning was not intended for you.
For you.
Yeah,
But you just speak.
Yeah, but you pick because somebody else is teaching their children.
Mhm.
Now these are people who end up being well, meaning those who we teach, sons out there, the youth out there, the information that you listen to, your parents talking to you,
Mm.
they should take it very seriously. Because I am certain that David was getting bits and pieces because he was not having a substantial, calling it substantial father who was giving him that.
Exactly.
Yeah, so that is about David.
Yeah.
That when you're exposed to a different culture, don't get cultural shock or don't get carried away and forget about where you have been.
To bring it home, you've been earning $1 million.
Yes.
You wake up one morning, you get a job that spans you to 10 million. How are you going to?
How are you going to pick it
How
up?
are you going to pick it up? Are you going to remain like David, maintain who you are, and then fit in the new stature, or you're going to lose it because the new thing has blown up your thinking?
Actually, let me share with you from the point of our sisters, wives, and mothers there, that when the man gets the money, you know, he abandons us whom we have suffered with altogether, which is
that's a common
actually
one.
a problem. A man who changes because his status has changed in terms of finances, you are not the true David. We know. And it is not right. It is not right. And unfortunately, these people they land really hard.
Exactly.
You know, like Dube said, mind about the people, you climb up the ladder because you need them on your way down. That meaning if they are still, if you are mindful of those you are having when you are going up, they will also embrace you if things are not working out.
Yes.
Your landing will be a soft landing because they prepare you. Yeah.
Now, what I pick from that is their families who are odd, like you said, single parents.
Yeah.
There are families that are polygamous, and the children are not really going through the proper training. All is not lost, parents outside there. If David, from the back of the bush, was able to shape a character, such as we read now,
yes,
then don't lose hope that you're going to raise a good child. You are able to raise a good child. God can help you raise a good child. With all the shortcomings, with all the poverty, with all the lack of proper societal setup, there are people living in like, for I've visited Katanga.
Yeah.
Raising up a good child there is difficult.
No, because there's a lot of forces.
Yeah, there are a lot of forces. They learn from
alcohol,
drugs,
theft,
and all these other things. But I'm encouraging you, parents outside there, with all these funny situations surrounding you, there is hope that you can raise up a child who will come out to be of what? Great use, of value to the society. Don't lose hope. Continue working. Continue listening to us. We may be able to give you our experiences, our biblical perception of things, and you may not be able to come to church like this, but here at Gospel Assembly, I want my brother here to tell you the things
before we go there, let me bring in Joseph. You know, we have now the single mothers, but we also have the youth who have nobody to talk to.
Exactly.
They may not even be with their parents. Or you are living in Kampala, but you are not able to access adults or people to speak into your life.
Exactly.
Now, Joseph was sold by the brothers. I'm not going to look at the story, but I want to get the bit of a young man in a foreign land without, in a new culture, as a slave, but you maintain certain kind of attributes, certain character. You build a character that you feel it is worth. Now, Joseph was tested. Joseph, the Potiphar's wife, put Joseph to test. Wanted to have an affair with Joseph. I mean, men out there and youth, right here, people can tempt you with money and you drop your character. You're lost. You get lost beyond even repair. But Joseph, imagine being a slave, you are now in the palace.
Remember the video you sent me? Just sorry to interject. What was it about? A young man who was called by a governor.
To go for because he was innovative.
Yes.
And when he got there, and the governor just says, you know what? Why don't you send your border guy? To go, because we're going to have a longer discussion. And this guy was happy, like, whoa, I've got the job.
Yes.
So he's given exorbitant amount of money.
For example, here maybe where you're supposed to pay 10,000, you're given
100,000. So this one is like, what?
Give this guy all
No. Yeah. The guy just goes and gives him what is worth
like 20,000 or a little
comes
more.
back and everything works out well.
Yeah.
only to bring this border guy, the motorcycle rider. And it's like, okay, what did this guy give you? Guy, yeah, he gave me this. In fact, it was very good. But the governor actually says, but how much did I give you
to tell you to
give this guy? You know, so such a simple thing. So in reality, when you look at the story of Joseph, you see a character building that is tested, and it does not lose it because of a short-term gain. You know, so people out there, children who are struggling on their own, you can still stand out. You can be the good man.
Exactly.
There is an opportunity. If you are disadvantaged in several areas, then you should be advantageous in picking the good things that you know. Exactly. Because what is left of you, you don't have inheritance, you know, but all you have that you can dwell on is that live a righteous life. The Bible says the footsteps of a righteous man are ordered by the Lord, meaning God will guide you to success. And so I feel it is not lost for even the men who still feel, you know what, I think I have lost my life. I even have a problem with my family. You can still review, you can still go back. Just pick it up some scriptural.
You can order your life, and the Bible tells us in Psalms 119, verse 9, that how can a young man
keep
his what? This is a problem is King James version, but it said, wherewithal shall a young man cleanse his way, by taking heed thereto according to thy word. With thy whole heart have I sought thee, O let me not wander from thy commandment. Thy word have I hid in my heart, that I might not sin against thee. So, for you to be kept in line, there is something that you keep
inside.
And that thing is able to guide you at every step in life. When a Joseph scenario comes in, that thing
inside you
is able to keep you from falling. When the money temptation comes in,
that thing
is able to keep you inside. When extramarital issues for those who are married comes in, that thing is able to keep you from falling. When material things, like for example, bribery and all things that kill your character, that thing that you've kept in your heart should be able to keep you going. Young men, elderly people have lost, you think have lost it. There should be something that you picked in life, whether from the side of the road because you didn't have a mentor, or by way of accidental hearing or picking information. Nowadays we have a lot of information on the internet and all these other publications. You are able to go read something, pick out something, and let that be the yardstick or the platform for you to make decisions and go forward, because that will help you.
You know, I love what God has done in my life, and I want to encourage parents there, and I want to talk also to church leaders, that the church should take deliberate programming to incorporate. Like in Gospel Assembly Church, we have programs that talk to the boys. We call it the Big Brother Talk.
Exactly.
We get the boys. What we are talking about here are things we share with them. We talk about the pressure they go through, peer pressure. We talk about adolescence. I mean, we've all gone through that. The body changes, all that. Because we know that you parents may not even be able to talk about certain things because you feel there is that, you know, this is obscenic in a way. And so as a church, you need to fit in that gap so that you can have that. Because there are a lot of things, and the principles in the Bible needs to be interpreted to them. For example, 1 Timothy chapter 4, verse 12. Permit me read this. It says, let no man despise thy youth. I mean, that is a very strong statement.
Exactly.
That it is not based on the people to determine who you are, but how you live your life will determine how they...
At whatever age.
Exactly, at whatever age. So it says, let no man. That means you can allow the men to despise you.
By the way.
By the way you are going to portray. So the conducting, what are some of those qualities? They say, but be thou an example of the believers, meaning you are a role model, where you live. So this is what it is. What kind of role model are you portraying in your setting? Which should determine how you should be despised or respected. And then it goes on to say, in what do you say always? Are you respectful in the way you say things? The slangs might be good to fit in the society, but is it what people want to determine? That this guy is, I think he deals in drug, because he has those slang full in his statement. Even university students, you go to interviews and you can't sustain official language for 2 minutes. That you are heading for. I mean, what are you going to do when you're married? Are you going to take the same language there? Then it goes on to say, in conversation, let your conversation be one. Let it be edifying. Let it be fitting in the setting. I mean, you can have your slangs when you're with the boys, or fellow age mates. But when you get to another standard, build it up. Pick it up. Let it be that you can assess when to say what.
And genuine, that is wisdom.
Exactly, wisdom. And then in charity, some of us, we can't have courtesy at all. But that is what people consider. If I'm
nice to you, it's because I want something from you.
Then that is wrong. Then we have in spirit, in faith, in purity. Some of you young men, we're going to talk about this. You're running all over with the girls. You are booking a girl because it's somebody. Why are you booking somebody's daughter?
At 15.
My grandmother, let me just end with this. I'll give you 1 minute to summarize. My grandmother one time said, if you are staying in somebody else's home, how dare you get a dog you call your own dog? How are you going to feed that dog?
Exactly.
You don't have income. You're being fed. So, but anyway, Jerome, just give me in a minute or two a summary, and then
thank you very much, viewers. Unfortunately, we've come to the end. Good things always end high up there. And so there are things we could have talked about. And for example, ladies complain about men, and those things we could have talked about and tackled, but I think what we've handled pretty much gives that one. Our aim is to prepare a young man to live a family life that is in harmony with the partner he has chosen, and also be equipped to be able to raise the next generation, his children, in the way of the Lord. For us being born again, our standard is the Bible. Viewers outside there, thank you very much. We love you. We appreciate your feedback. Some of you have come to us and told us, here you did not do good, here you did good, we need you to talk about this. Those things are very wonderful. We receive them positively, and it helps us improve day by day as we continue to interact with you. Stay blessed, stay safe. The Lord is on our side.
Thank you, Jerome. I think from me, I'm not going to have any other word. I think we have put a lot into this. I'm just waiting to see some Joseph appearing from somewhere. The Davids of our time. We still expect great things. Young men out there, please be different. I like there's a also at some point where I said be bold. So be different. Be bold. Be different. Let your difference be for a positive thing. We still expect great things. Men, let's gather up the good things. We know what to do. It's all about sustaining it for a long time. It becomes your character. So thank you so much for watching. We want you to respond to, give us some feedback. We'll be very grateful. And please don't hesitate. Subscribe. We'd love to see you again. Otherwise, thank you so much for sparing your time. May the Lord surely bless you. And men, we are coming up. We will clear those names that have been stained. May God bless you.
Swahili, Asante, in Langi,
Wafue Matek.
Wafue Matek in Jap, Wafue Swa, in Luganda, Wevale Nyo, in Western, that is in Lusoka. So all languages. I wish I knew French. I would thank you. I was meant to understand that we have international people who are following us and appreciating.
So thank you.
I wish I know all the languages. I would. Bonjour is greeting. How do you say thank you? Thank you very much.
Go.